What's happening? Welcome to the show. This is Mike, the Beeman from Crypto Soldier channel. I welcome y'all to my channel. I'm going to basically have a short session today. As y'all know, I do pest management, and also I'm a beekeeper, so I do a lot of bee removals. And if you want to get more information on bees, I'm going to go over some bee information today since we're in the beginning of the bee season. And also, I'm going to give you my opinion on what's going on with crypto and some current events. First of all, I am not a crypto advisor. I'm just a bug guy, so don't take anything I say. Don't make any investments based on what I say. Do your own research and only invest in what you're willing to lose. With that said, I have to say that here on YT. I want to keep my channel, so you know. So let's go into a little bit of what's going on. I really welcome y'all. I'm glad y'all are able to come and view my channel. I don't really make too many videos because I don't get paid for this. I kind of do this just to maybe help that one or two people that's trying to get some information on different things. So today we're going to have a really good show about bees. XRP, XLM, and some other stuff that's going on. So I'd love to hear from y'all. If y'all anybody on the live, I don't see anybody right now. This is one of my first lives, so I'm sure, but maybe you'll see the replay and leave the comments below. I really like hearing from y'all. I love people that have their different view. That's what America's about, is that First Amendment, to be able to do that. Now if you got something, if you're going to start trolling and all that crap, then you have to get off my channel, because I don't really care for all that stuff. All you're doing is hurting other people. And so anyway, let's start off with bee season, honeybees, bees, native bees. If y'all want more information, go to my bee removal website, 911honeybeeremoval.com, and then you'll see I have plenty of videos on there, and I'm going to try to answer some of the common questions I get about honeybees, bees in general, because one of my videos says, and I'm probably going to get a lot of comments on this one, but honeybees are not endangered. There's a lot of honeybees, trust me. And the ones that are in danger are the native bees, the native pollinators, about 20,000 or so or more species of these solitary bees and butterflies, wasps, bumblebees that do pollinate. Because if you go on there, you'll see a video by some very accredited professionals that's been doing a lot of research over the years, and find that honeybees. Now, I do love honeybees. I've been doing honeybees since I was a young kid, but they do have their purpose. And then if you watch the video, it'll tell you more. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but so for all you people out there, worried about that, there's more going on right now that you're worried about than honeybees, because honeybees are not, they're not, going to go away anytime soon. So this time we're in the beginning of the swarm season. So people that don't know what swarm season is like, let me stop for a second. Hopefully I have a good audio. I need to get another microphone. Like I said, I don't really do this for money or anything, so I'm gonna try to get a better microphone that y'all can hear me. But if y'all could just let me know that you can hear me, that'd be great. But I don't have anybody on here at the moment, so I'm hoping that the sound is clear enough where you can understand what I'm saying. Let's talk about swarms. We have bee swarms this time of year. So what is a bee swarm, Mike? Well, a bee swarm is like kind of like, to make it simple, is like if you lived in an apartment and everybody started inviting their friends over and it got really crowded, and you're like, man, I got to get out of here. There's just too many damn people in here. Well, that's what a bee swarm is, when the colony gets overcrowded. So the existing queen, which is colonies are made up of different types of bees. You have your worker bees, which are mainly they're all female. Then you have some male drones, which are bigger, slightly bigger. They don't have a stinger. Then you have the queen, which she's a lot bigger and she stays inside the hive and she does nothing but lay eggs. And so the worker bees, kind of give you a background, during the warmer, more activity, going on with gathering pollen and all that during the warmer months. They usually last between 3 to 6 weeks, probably, guesstimated. They don't last that long because they work themselves to death, basically. So that queen, she has to lay a lot of eggs to continue to have that, working amount of worker bees to go out and make honey for the hive. They work as a collective, unlike some places nowadays. But and then male drones, well, they kind of tend to the queen, but they don't really do much. They're kind of, I don't know. I mean, they're not very essential, I guess I would say. They actually don't have a stinger. They don't protect the hive. Sometimes during the winter months, some colonies will pitch out all the male drones, so they'll die basically, and then birth some more during the warmer months. So let's go back to, that's basically what the mechanics are as far as the hive, what type of bees are in the hive, in a honeybee hive. I hate when people say bees. The problem is bees, when in the video explains it, is when people say bees, all they do is revert back to honeybees. Folks, there's more types of bees than honeybees. And not to, let me quote from my sources. Honeybees are invasive. They're not from North America. They actually came from Europe. So they came over here, when the colonists came over and they came through Virginia. And actually they were known to the Native Americans as the white man's flies. Because whenever there was bees around, they knew white men were, because the white man is the one that brought them over here in the first place. So before that time, North America was doing fine with pollination with native bees. That's my point. So, but every time somebody says bees, they relate to honeybees. Just like if somebody said bird, and all they thought about was chicken. So every time somebody said, "Hey, do you have any birds?" And so they're supposed to say, "Well, I have chickens." No, there's many types of birds. So the same thing with bees. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. So now it's overcrowded. So the queen, we know what the queen does, right? They're going to birth a new queen because they have to replace the old queen. Without a queen, the colony can't survive because she replenishes the workforce. It's a constant thing over and over again. During the summer months, it's just going fast. If you get a chance to look at that movie, I know y'all seen it, the Bee movie. I mean, a lot of stuff in there is not accurate, but it's pretty funny. But I like the part where they're going on the tour. They graduated, they're going to get their job. And the tour guy says something about a job, and then he says, "Hey, hold on a second. So what you're trying to tell me is that you're going to work us to death, right?" And she's like, "Yes, we are." So that's basically what happens to the poor workers. They work themselves to death to produce a little bit of honey. So, honey is great. I don't really care for it because I've been around it all my life, but I do, eat it once in a while. It's great you get buy your local honey from local people. Because the ones that are local to your area is good for your allergies. Amongst other stuff, honey is really good. So, so they basically, she'll get a bunch of those workers and they'll gorge themselves and they'll fly off in a big blob because they're going to protect the queen. The queen will go, they'll be all around her. And then they'll land because remember, they only eat once before they leave, and that's gorging themselves, right? It's like you going to a buffet. But on that point, have you ever been to, you ever wonder when you go to a buffet, let's say Golden Corral or something like that? I'm not promoting it in any way, but I go to buffet. Sorry about that. If you go to a buffet people act like it's a frenzy, like they've never been in a buffet before. I don't understand it. They're just running around, acting crazy like they ain't never ate in their whole life. And I'm like, what? These people ain't never been to a buffet, so they basically gorge themselves full of honey, and then they'll take off, and they're going to have to rest. So they're going to land on stuff. So they land in trees. You'll see a big old ball of bees hanging down like this, and then you also see them on cars. I've done them on planes, tugboats, ships. They're going to sit there and they're going to send off scouts to look for a place to move into that's ideal. So what you got to do, when these scouts find a place that's ideal, then they'll come back and they do a little dance. It's called the waggle dance. And the one that has the best dance, the one that's the best dancer, will get their idea accepted. And then they will start moving into that area. They'll attempt to. Unfortunately, they move into your house or whatever, then they got to call me, the Beeman, to come and take a look at it. See what we can do to recover them or whatever we have to do. So that's what a swarm is. So now they have, there's an Africanized bee, and that's a whole new, I'll do another video on that in depth, deep dive into and where they came from, how they got here, blah, blah, blah. So to make, that kind of reminds you, I have a good buddy named Reed Booth. He's called the Killer Bee Guy. If you ever get on, I'll go on YT and look up the Killer Bee Guy. He's got some great videos. He's very entertaining, very knowledgeable. They do nothing but honey, Africanized honeybees over there. So take a look at that. So people are kind of, when you see a bunch of bees coming by and they're like tons and tons, when it's amazing if you see them in the air coming towards you. I had a lady that was just terrified. She saw the biggest swarm ever came over the trees and headed towards her house and just kind of stuck in the house. So when they vibrate. They kind of looks like they're vibrating, and you could feel the energy of the swarm coming and the vibration. It's just crazy. I've been retrieving a swarm, and then another swarm is flying over my head, and it's just crazy. I was engulfed with thousands and thousands of bees around me. Now, killer bees, even in a swarm state, are very dangerous. They kill livestock. They'll kill your pets. They'll attack you. The difference is they're very, like, 20, 30 times more aggressive than the European honeybee. You wouldn't really know the difference unless you're an entomologist and you have one on your scope, and you can see the difference in the anatomy and how smaller they are, darker, maybe darker a little bit. But the aggressive state is what it separates them from the European bee. So let me make a disclaimer. Just because bees are aggressive doesn't mean they're killer bees. Because once a bee colony has been established and been there for a while, it's like you moving in and you start building your family, you have kids, and they start being more protective. It necessarily doesn't mean they're Africanized. And that's something that people get confused with, and they'll just label them right off the bat. Oh, those are Africanized bees because they're so aggressive. They attacked my son was mowing the grass, and one of them attacked him, so they must be Africanized. Well, that's not necessarily correct, because they were there before and they didn't attack anybody. It's just the vibrations set them off, and their defensive thing is, hey, what is that? I don't know what that is, but we're going to attack it because they're getting near our home. So keep that in mind. All right, so once they start moving in, basically in your house or whatever, the queen goes inside first, and then they start working and building their own little home. Pretty much in a nutshell, that was it for how the swarm process worked. Well, this time of year, we have a lot of swarms. And in Texas, sometimes we'll even have late swarms right before the wintertime because we have bipolar weather here. So, I'm going to answer a little bit of questions since I've talked about how swarms are made, because this is the time of year. And as I have more shows, I'll have more information about bees. That way, and answer a lot of people's questions. So one of the major questions I get all the time is, hey, Mike, what happens to the bees during the wintertime? Do they just leave? No, they don't. So what happens is during the wintertime, the bees will eat the honey that they produced over the warmer months. Remember I said during the warmer months, those worker bees are working, right? They're building that honey storage because they know when winter comes, there's not going to be any pollen to build honey or stuff like that. So they got to work really, really hard, and they got to store honey. Now they produce more honey than they need to. That's why we're able to forage honey from them and not kill the entire colony. Now, so over the winter months, they slow down production to almost nothing. And that brings up to an experiment they did about up north, because we have honeybees as far as Maine. You know, people say honeybees are not up north. Yes, they are. So here's the deal. So they had a swarm of bees, and they put them in a freezer, like a walk-in cooler, and it was like probably like 36 degrees in there. And they would set them in there, and then they put a thermometer in the middle of it, and they found out that bees will rotate around and keep the inside of the swarm at a constant 70, 80 degrees. It's amazing. So that's why they're adapting. They can adapt to that. So that's what happens when it gets kind of cold. But back to what I was talking about. In the wintertime, they slow down production. They eat all the honey that's there till winter's over, and then they start the whole process again. Now, the problem with Africanized bees is they're not as efficient as European bees at doing that. So sometimes Africanized colonies won't make it to wintertime until they actually adapt a little bit better. So that answers your question. So I hope that answers y'all's question about bees today. That was my little tips on bee swarms. I love bees. If you want more information, go to my site, 911 Honeybee Removal, to take a look at my videos and learn more about bees, the real deal about bees. And let me tell you a quick story real quick before I get off the bee subject. So I was going into, we have these franchises called Tractor Supplies, and we have those out throughout Texas. So I was in there because I needed to get a smoker, because my smoker crapped out on me. So I had my bee shirt on, right? And I was like, I got to the counter. The young lady was going to ring me up, and she goes, "So, did you get everything you needed?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure did." She goes, "Oh, I see. Do you do bee removal?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, it says bee removal." But, I didn't say anything. I was being courteous. I said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure do." She goes, "Well, that's awesome, because, I'm a beekeeper. I just started beekeeping about a couple months ago." And I said, "Yeah, that's awesome, man. Bees are great. Honeybees are great." And she goes, "Do you save them or do you kill them?" I said, "Well, it depends on the situation. Sometimes I do a little bit of both." And she's like, "Oh my God, you kill bees? How can you kill bees? You know that if bees were gone, that human beings would not be around?" And I was like, I'm in shock, really, because I wasn't expecting that from her. And I kind of looked at her respectfully, and I said, "Look," I said, "you know who kills more bees than anybody?" And I think her name was Sandra. I said, "Hey, Sandra, you know who kills more bees than anybody?" And she's like, "Who's that?" I said, "Novice beekeepers. Have a great day. See you later. Bye." So that's true. Novice beekeepers kill more bee colonies than anybody, because they don't know what the heck they're doing. And so they kill a lot. So another thing is that people will get bees and they don't know, they don't know how to keep them, or they'll try to get bees to put on their land to get that tag, the ag exempt, and then they'll put them out there, and they think they can just put a bunch of boxes of bees on their thing and not tend to them. Well, guess what happened? Remember I talked about the Africanized bees? Well, they could invade those boxes, and we call them hot boxes. Once they're hot, that means they're highly aggressive. So now you got some bee boxes on your land that you can't even get near. They're attacking your cattle, your livestock, they're attacking your kids, just because you wanted that tax exempt, because you didn't learn how to beekeep, and you didn't want to hire nobody to do it. So now guess who you got to call? Mike the Beeman. And so I got to come out there and rescue you. Just like they're trying to rescue this freaking legacy financial system that just crashed, and we're going into that right now. So I'm going to phase over to the crypto side. So we're done with bees today. I appreciate y'all coming in and learning more about bees. I'll have some more tips and stuff with pest control and bees. In fact, I got to pick up a possum today. But anyway, squirrel. I got a little ADD going on. Excuse me for that. So let's get into this financial legacy system just crashing down. These banks are just going left and right. So, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you a perspective from an everyday person who's out here grinding it with a small business. So they're trying to get rid of the middle class, basically. They're doing they're doing a damn good job of it, really, honestly, making it hard. For example, was going to go buy some, I buy these self-tapping screws for when I do exclusions for wildlife and stuff. And yeah, I used to pay I think it was like $7.87 for a box of them. I think a quarter inch or half inch. Either way, it don't mean. I wanted to go buy a box of this thing. They were $12, almost $13. Really? I mean, they're just making it. It's ridiculous right now. So the banks, when they crashed the SVB and all these big banks, that one went down. They had a meeting, and this is probably old news for somebody. I'm trying to recap it, but there was a guy who was a representative. I think it was Oklahoma. I'm not sure. And Mrs. Yellen, he asked her, "Hey, I see that y'all bailed out, SVB, for what they did. My question is, what are you going to do about my community banks, my smaller community banks that are in the area, local banks? Are you going to do the same thing that you did for them banks?" And she basically said, we'll assess each one, and we'll have a meeting. We have to get super votes and make sure that it's systemically going to affect the whole ecosystem. Then also, I need to approve it, super approve it. So, and basically, no, you're basically on your own. So I would be aware of the monies that you put in the bank. I'm not trying to create any kind of FUD or any kind of bank runs. I'm just going off the information that I found out and I saw with my two eyes. Basically saying if something happens to one of those little banks and goes insolvent, they're not going to cover the FDIC. They may or may not, but they're pretty much, unless it's some type of emergency. I mean, I don't really think they're going to, honestly. She said they'd have to have a vote, and then it had to go to her, and she'd have to make the final decision. So they're trying to get rid of all these little banks, consolidate it to the big banks, move all your money into the big, the bigger banks, Wells Fargo, Chase, and all that, those bigger banks. And who knows what's going to happen after that? Nobody really knows. It's all speculation, right? So a lot of these people that are on YT and stuff, all these price predictions, in my opinion, is all speculation. When it comes to like XLM, I'm just going to focus on those coins because that's the ones that I really, me personally, it's not financial advice, deal with. Is the bank coins, the ones that I believe that are going to have clarification, are part of the moving vehicle that's replacing. So this is my comparison when I'm like looking at it this way. So let's say you have this old clunky, I'm going to use this B because we talk about these, right? This is my little B. This is the old clunky fiat system. Oh, it's just sputtering. And then now you got this new quantum financial system, the QFS, that's right next to it, right? They've already built it. It's running next to the old clunky, and it's basically recording all the transactions and what's going on with that system and mirroring. It's called mirroring each one of them. So when it's easier, they can just flip it right into the new system, a new quantum financial system. If you don't know anything about that, do some research, put QFS, and you'll find out more about that. Quantum computers are amazing. let me just talk about that real quick about quantum computers. If y'all don't know about quantum computing. So let's say you have your normal computers now, like I'm on this one right here on the desktop. I have a laptop, Apple, whatever brand you got. So let's say there's a maze in front of you and the X is on the other side. With these particular computers, or your phone's computer too, that computer will compute by looking at every single path to that exit one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, possible paths, and then it will come up with an answer, which is pretty good, right? It's pretty quick for a normal computer. But with a quantum computer, all those pathways, which is hundreds or whatever, thousands or whatever, it does it all at one time. Bam! It gives you the answer instantly. That's what quantum computing is going to do. That's the way of the future. So this QFS system is running next to a legacy system. And it's checking all these transactions, mirroring everything. And in my opinion, in the future, it'll be very hard to game the system because that quantum computer will automatically alert, something's going on, somebody's trying to do something. Boom, just like that, which is awesome for us or anybody trying to game it or fraud the system. So let's get back to the mirroring. So whenever they flip this thing over, and it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. Can't go much further, man. They're just creating inflation. Like, I mean, pretty soon it's going to be too hard to. And from a small business operator, it's really hard because I have to adjust my pricing according to the cost of my materials and all that. And it's like a juggling act, And then people they don't have the money to pay for my services, so it's just my profit margin is going down, so it's really hard. But I always try to help people out as much as I can. So the tokens, back what I was talking about, is that new plane that's gliding next to the old clunky one. I'm investing in the parts of the new plane. Does that make sense? I want to invest in these parts that are part of this new plane. I know that those parts are going to be essential to that new plane operating. So that's what I put my money into. I mean, I don't have nothing against these other cryptos. I just don't, me personally, I'm not too much into these other cryptos that don't have a lot of use case or don't have a lot of utility. I'm into utility. And I invest in these particular tokens as an investor, not a get rich quick. So that's the problem. These people, some of y'all want to just put some money on like a lottery ticket and boom, get rich. No, it don't happen. It doesn't work that way, folks. So let's talk about XRP. I love XRP. I think it's an amazing token. It has a lot of utility cases. It's a bridge currency, able to bridge liquidity between banks. We all know this, wholesale. But there's other tokens that do that too, like XLM. XLM has the ability to do stuff like that. Now I know that XRP's the banks, XLM is supposed to be retail, XTC is more like derivatives and like peer-to-peer or whatever. I may be wrong that, don't quote me, but I think XLM might be peer-to-peer too. But I found out I like QSI, they're really good. They're part of the Stellar group, and Emily is very knowledgeable, and I listen to her a lot. And it's amazing what XLM is doing with their ecosystem. The thing is, you never really hear a lot about XLM. And I'm not showing XLM, but I'm telling you the facts. You make your own decisions based on your research, not on what I say. So XLM has a lot of capabilities that people are not understanding. It's changed. It's come a long way. They have a lot of different projects. So let's go back to XRP. XRP, yes, is a bridge currency, vital part of the new quantum financial system. Me personally, I don't think that it's going to hit those high. Don't get me wrong, and some of y'all are going to hate me for this, but I think those high prices that people are talking about, the crazy prices, I'm talking about $500,000, $1 million a token. I don't believe, me personally, from doing my own research, this is just my opinion, and y'all can hate me or whatever, I don't care. But you won't have that token when it hits that price. So let me say that again. You will not have that token when it hits that price. And I'm going to explain to you why. And this is research, and this is from other people that I've listened to and came with my own conclusion. And I think they're correct on this. Now, I may be wrong. Like I said, I don't know everything. I'm going to keep it short, but I maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. Whenever the government, and let me just, like, there was one statement saying that, you know what, we're not, the XRP wasn't made for the retail people, which is, probably correct. And we just got lucky and we were able, they were selling this XRP way before the lawsuit, long time ago. XRP is its own, decentralized railway. So if that was the case, then they would never let it go out in the public. They would never sell it. They would have bought it all up and nobody would get anything. They would take it off everywhere. That's not the case. People still bought XRP can't talk, and traded it before all this, lawsuit and all that stuff happened. It was Ripple. Ripple and XRP are two separate things. If there's a possible buyback, I know y'all don't like that word and people make fun of it. Buyback? Is that really going to buy back XRP? Well, if it becomes a national security thing where they need that XRP to be part of the new financial system here in the United States, maybe not all over the world, they could buy back. They could try to buy back over the world. Who knows? They might, if it's going to be part of the whole world system, they may say, hey, we need your XRP, and then we're going to give y'all, I don't know, $100 a coin. You're like, my $100, that is nothing. I thought it was going to go 50,000, 100,000. I'm just going to wait till then. I'm not selling none of my XRP. And I used to be that way. I ain't gonna lie. I used to say that. I will not sell until you can pry it out of my cold, dead hands. Because I was convinced, and it still may happen, that it would hit $10,000 or $20,000, and then I would sell it. But I would take profits on the way up, right? Have that plan, exit plan. Well, let's flip it. Let's say, and I still may do that. We don't know. This is all speculation. But what if they do say, hey, we're going to buy your XRP. We're going to give you $100 a token. Take it or leave it. If you don't take our offer and you decide you want, and we need it back, and I don't know how they could actually make you give it back, but I'm sure they can find a way to do it. They made everybody stay home for 2 years. Oh, damn. Anyway, if you don't take this offer, then we'll give you what you paid for it, which was, whatever, 39 cents, 17 cents. Some people 17 cents. Then you're like, SOL. Because, folks, I believe XRP is a one-time deal. Bam, you're not going to have any, you ain't going to be able to touch it later. It ain't going to be in your grasp. Then they'll give you some a fair price, and then you either take it or they'll give you what you pay for it, and that's it. But some of y'all, man, I mean, you bought it at 39 cents, and this is and I really agree with this one gentleman. I believe it's Nick. You bought it at 39 cents. If it went to freaking $100 or $500 they gave you for something, what is your profit margin is ridiculous. Y'all are getting crazy, getting greedy. So that's just my thoughts on XRP. Don't get me wrong, I love XRP. I mean, shoot. Look. XRP Army. But I got to look at it in a realistic, real-time view. They're not going to give you full price on that. I mean, come on. Why would they do that? The government's not going to do that. They're going to sell it to you for freaking, even if they sold it to you for $500 a piece, and then they're going to have it when it goes up to $1 million. It has to be stable. It can't be volatile. The token, what you hold. The token itself is going to be transporting trillions of dollars of liquidity. It cannot be going up and down. Cannot. The banks will not work with it. It has to be stable. In order for it to be stable, they can't have a bunch of retailers having it affecting the price of it. Because I don't think they get affected anyway. I mean, how would they get affected? They'd have to. I mean, I think I heard back in, I don't know, when it first came out, they tried to do that. They tried to affect the price of the token by a bunch of people buying or selling, and it didn't affect it at all, actually. But, I mean, to me, I mean, this is all, I guess, but if they did not want the XRP in the retail hands, like it was told to be, because they want to keep it stable, they want to make sure that it's going to be a stable price, whether they jump it from 10,000 to 100,000, 500,000, you won't have it at that point. That's when they back the dollar or whatever with some type of asset, in my opinion, of course. So, just food for thought. You may agree to disagree with me, and that's great. I love to hear everybody's opinions on that. You know, that's just my opinion at this moment. Who knows? All right, let's talk about XLM. Like, I love XLM because they have so many different types of that, you know, a lot of the ecosystem. If you get a chance to go to QSI, listen to Emily, and they talk about, you know, you don't hear a lot about XLM. They're kind of silent, right? But they're involved in a lot of stuff. I just learned that they could wrap coins, tokens, any tokens, not the ones that are not even ISO 222 compliant. They could wrap those tokens. It's like a duplicate, right? They bring it over into the Stellar ecosystem, not the utility of the token, but the volume that's on it, and it flushes through the ecosystem, which is freaking big to me. I think XLM in the long term is going to be awesome. And at 9 cents, I mean, at the moment, 9 cents, no brainer to me. Let's talk about, I like Quant too. Quant is very another suppressed. I believe this thing is huge, and why? You know, I only talk about stuff based, you know, backed by facts and what I've learned and did my research, thousands and thousands of hours. Quant is like your computer's operating system. It allows other businesses or whatever to be able to take their, let's say their, you know, whatever, like XRPL or different blockchain they're going to use, because there's more blockchains than just, you know, XRPL. But so to make them interoperability with other types of ecosystems. So now you can, it's like an operating system for a computer. You gotta have that if you want to have that interoperability. I believe in Europe they're trying to work on their own blockchain within the country. So in order for them to be able to connect to all these other ecosystems, guess what they got to use? They're going to use Quant. And the thing about Quant, yes, it's a little, you know, expensive. It's limited, very limited. So to me, that's going to make it very valuable. And you know, there's a couple other projects I like. I like baseball and all that. So, but my main the main topic of today's discussion was think about these tokens as an investor. You know, looking at it in a realistic view. There's no get rich quick. You know, all these people are saying life-changing, generational wealth. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't really think. Me personally, I think that XRP is a one-shot deal. If you want to invest in some other stuff that will be long-term as it builds up over the next 2 to 5 years, 2 to 10 years, yes, there's going to be more. Because once you start flowing more liquidity through those ecosystems, the more valuable that token becomes. But me personally, with XRP, you're not going to be part of that game. They're going to take it from y'all, or they're going to offer something, offer that you can't refuse. But with XLM and XDC, all these other ones, as they're used more, the more valuable they become pawns. So there's a that reminds me. There's a coin. I think it was they talked about it was it's a wrap version of XRP, and somebody said that it was a competitor to XRP. It's not. It's just a wrap version of it. So do your own research. Go to QSI. They're pretty good with that. So I like listening to them. They have a different view based on facts. She has a lot of resources, both of them, the QSI team. So I appreciate y'all. I'm going to go ahead and leave it where we're at. I think 40 minutes is a long one for my first one, but I try to keep them down short. But next time we'll do some more tips on some wildlife and stuff like that. It'll help you on your everyday things, especially with your house and all that. And then we'll get into some more crypto. Once again, it's Mike the Beeman with Crypto Solar Channel. I appreciate y'all coming to see me, and I'll see y'all again. Bye.